on Zodiak, right here on Zodiak TV.
This is Chancellor Zabanda with the news on Zodiac. The headlines this hour. Stakeholders demand answers on the recent security lapse in the administration of Standard 8 examinations. Court releases on bail 20-year-old girl accused of posting an offensive video online against President Chaguera. Police under fire in Eutini Mzimba for blaming lack of a vehicle for its failure to arrest 6 defilement suspects. In sports, Athletics Association of Malawi discloses that it is facing a 2 million kwacha deficit to host this year's National Track and Field Open Championship. We now give you the news in detail. Following reports of theft of Standard 8 examinations related material in Rumpi, education experts are urging authorities to investigate what exactly happened. The request by the education experts follows reports that soldiers assigned to ensure security of the materials at Chikwawa Primary School in Rumpi had left their post when the theft occurred early morning yesterday, first day of administration of the examinations. Malawi National Examinations Board spokesperson Mayami Goshiwaya says the soldiers were not at their assigned post when this happened, a development that education expert Benedicto Kondowe says calls for urgent thorough investigations. We spoke to Kondowe.
This could have been deliberate because under an ideal situation, it could not have happened. So this is a very serious matter because we are dealing with a scenario where some envelopes have gone missing, and so far there is no report indicating whether they have been recovered or as to what is the status of those envelopes. So I think this is a serious matter that MANEP must deal with the relevant authorities. I'm aware that MANEP has the service agreement with the Malawi Defense Force as well as the Malawi Police Services, and that within these institutions there are administrative mechanisms that will need to be considered to make sure that those who are responsible for providing security at the given place of incident must be made to account so that such issues are not repeated.
85 students have withdrawn from University of Malawi and Malawi University of Business and Applied Sciences MUBAS for failing to pay tuition fees. Students' Union representatives Mayami Kojuma from UNIMA and Franklin Kadewere from MUBAS have told us that another 1,400 are currently struggling to meet upkeep expenses and have high chances of dropping out. Meanwhile, member of the Higher Loans and Grants Board, Dr. Henry Shingaipe, says they are exploring ways on how to bail out the needy students. Karen Chinembiri has filed this report.
75 MUBAS students and 10 others from UNIMA have withdrawn from the universities due to lack of tuition fees. The University Students' Union's representatives, Yamikani Juma from UNIMA and Franklin Kadewere, claim that 1,400 other students are currently struggling to get money for accommodation and food.
And currently, as we are talking, we are housing over 75 students. Some of them have really withdrawn, and some of them are about to withdraw because of lack of school balances, accommodation, and tuition fees.
Commenting on the issue, education activist Limbani Sabato says the Tonse Alliance should stick to its promise of keeping students in school.
As the new government of the Tonse promised during the campaign that no student would withdraw from college because of lack of money, this is now the time to show the political will and implement what was the promise.
Meanwhile, the Education Loans and the Grants Board says is exploring different ways to support the needy students. It is estimated that the needy students from MUBAS and UNIMA require about 10 million kwacha to stay in school.
First Lady Monica Chawera on Thursday launched a booklet and a documentary depicting the story of her life to inspire girls in the country to achieve their goals. Chawera said during the launch in Lilongwe on Thursday that there is need to inspire young girls, especially those in rural areas, to realize and achieve their goals. Minister of Education is expected to distribute copies of the booklet to girls in schools across the country. Alinafe Mlamba witnessed the colorful event.
The story that we launched today is a living example that many girls from rural areas can draw inspiration from and understand and realize that even with the limitation of life, one can still make it to their God-given destiny.
Speaking during the launch of her life story, which has been documented in a documentary booklet, First Lady Monica Chawera said young women need to be exposed to role models who can give them a push with their career. The documentation has been made in a bid to motivate young women in rural areas, especially those struggling with their education. Education Minister Agnes Nyalonje says her ministry intends to use the story to inspire both parents and girls in primary and secondary schools.
We hope to use it as a case study that will play the role of role modeling for the girls and the boys, because we cannot hope to bring the First Lady to every classroom in the country, but through the book we can. So that's part of the beauty of it. But what I also see is the beauty that this book can work also at community level.
The documentation has been made with aid from Plan Malawi, and its country director Fabi Kasoga has reaffirmed the organization's commitment in ensuring that young girls are supported academically.
We believe that small steps like this, if each of us can do something, we'll be able to collectively bring about change for girls in Malawi. We have had today the challenges that a typical girl in a rural village faces. She will face challenges from food, from failing to get scholastic material, from failing to get tuition. But I think the most important thing that I want to say to each of the young girls is, I think, the determination to make it in life, to always keep trying. When we fall down, it's not the end of the story.
2,500 copies of DVDs and booklets have since been released and are expected to be distributed in various schools across the country.
A 20-year-old girl, Chisomo Magala, who was arrested for posting a video thought to mock President Chawera, has been granted court bail in Lilongwe on Thursday. Magala, a Lilongwe resident, was arrested on 1st September after sharing the video to one of our WhatsApp groups. Chimwemwe Padata with the details.
The 20-year-old Chisomo Magala has spent over a week in police cell after she was arrested on 1st September for sending a video on a WhatsApp group that allegedly mocked President Chawera. She has been granted bail on several conditions, including payment of a 10,000 waja bail bond and provide sureties worth 30,000 waja. She has also been asked to report at Central West Police Headquarters every fortnight. Chisomo Magala was arrested at Chigwirizano in Lilongwe, and her arrest comes amid concerns of rising cybercrime as a result of the booming new media platforms such as WhatsApp and Facebook, where some people have resorted to misusing such platforms. This is Chimwemwe Parata for Zodiak.
The Malawi Law Society has cautioned against amending Legal Aid Act to allow legal assistance offer legal representation in minor cases for people at magistrates' courts. The Legal Affairs Committee of Parliament and Legal Aid Bureau say the proposal would ensure access to legal representation by a majority poor whose cases have stalled and therefore congesting prisons. But in a statement jointly signed by the Society's President Patrick Graham Parker and his Honorary Secretary Crispin Chimwemwe Gunde, the Society says the proposal actually takes away the very right of the needy at legal representation. At least 800 Malawi Post Corporation workers countrywide are on strike, demanding to be paid salaries for the past 2 months and pension remittances. President of the Workers' Union, William Chipoka, says MPC management has failed them. But MPC spokesperson Aidan Kolimbo says workers have received their July and August salary, save top management, adding that the institution is working tirelessly to resolve the challenges. We have this report by Andrew Viano.
President of Malawi Post Corporation Workers Union, William Chipoka, has told us that they are fed up with a number of issues that management has failed to timely address. Chiboga says key among the issues include July and August salaries. He also said MPC has not been remitting pension funds for some years now.
On the 10th of August, the court ordered the company to resolve the salary issue in 27 days. Unfortunately, the company has failed to honor the court's order. Hence, our going back to strike. The grievances that we have at the moment do include non-remittances of pension funds and GLA, suspension of medical scheme, and late salary payment.
But MPC spokesperson Aidan Kolimbo says the workers have received their July and August salaries. Kolimbo, while admitting that MPC has struggled to remit pension funds, added that they are working tirelessly to resolve the other challenges.
The management is doing everything possible to make sure that these issues are rectified. This is not the first time this strike has been conducted. Management working hand in hand with various key stakeholders, which include government, which is the major stakeholder of MPC as a public institution, are looking at lasting solutions to these issues.
The sit-in by MPC workers has disrupted courier and postal services provided by the corporation across the country.
Ministry of Information says it is in the process of developing a post-courier policy which will help to regulate the courier industry. Minister of Information Gospel Kazako disclosed this on Thursday when he visited Ankolo.com courier service. This is what he had to say.
We are in a drive of creating the 1 million jobs. Against all odds, we know we have COVID amidst us, but we have not just folded our arms. Now, the courier business, if well nurtured, if well tended, if well taken care of, it can be a huge creator of employment. Not just the people that are handling mail and parcels here, no. But if we create an environment where people are able to exchange parcels, people are able to exchange information, people are able to send their products from wherever, from any other corner of this country, and they're getting to places where there's demand. I think that alone is going to encourage people, motivate people to do more. What it means is people will be busy doing what they're supposed to be doing, so that they're able to earn a living. So it's something that is there. You might wish to know that creating employment is not just waking up in the morning and say, I'm going to work in a bank, I'm going to work in a telecom company, or I'm going to work somewhere in a farm. It's a whole lot of change.
And Managing Director for the privately owned courier service provider, Owen Kamwendo, welcomed the news by Minister, saying it would help solve some of the challenges that the industry is facing.
There are challenges in any business, there'll be challenges, and we just alluded our challenges to the Minister. Most of them are at strategic level. What that means is that they cannot be fixed in a day, but as a government and as a ministry can be our champion in making sure that those things are being fixed long term.
The Office of the Ombudsman has acknowledged receipt of the referred complaint from the Anti-Corruption Bureau to investigate the appointment of economist Henry Kachaje as Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority Mera Chief Executive Officer. Ombudsman Grace Malera has told Zodiak that they received the complaint from ACB on Tuesday and that her office will investigate the issue within the shortest reasonable time. Christopher Sunday reports.
Ombudsman Grace Malera has confirmed to Zodiak that her office has received a referred complaint from the Anti-Corruption Bureau, ACB, to probe the appointment of economist and motivational speaker Henry Kachaje as Chief Executive Officer of Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority, MERA. Malera says she got the complaint from ACB on Tuesday, 7 September 2021.
Yes, I can confirm that the Ombudsman's office is in receipt of that referral from the Anti-Corruption Bureau. What that means is that we are still in the very preliminary stages of administrative processing of the referral. So there are always timelines, there are manuals that we follow when we are processing complaints that we received, or the commitment that we make on this kind of complaints is that they will be processed within the reasonable time possible.
MERA's board announced of Kachaje's appointment as CEO on 24 August this year, but others, including Forum for National Development, wrote ACB to investigate the appointment, specifically to find out if Kachaje holds master's degree which was stated as one of the conditions for the job. ACB is of the view that the issue can better be handled by the Office of the Ombudsman. Reporting for Zodiac from Blantyre, this is Christopher Sunday.
You're watching the news on Zodiac. We'll be back with more after this.
Wow, hi Nancy. Wow, how are you?
I'm good, and how are you?
But how have you managed to, to have this beautiful and well-stocked shop, Nancy?
My friend, these things don't come on a silver platter.
Tell me about it.
You need to invest. I had to grow my money. I grew every single penny that I made out of my monthly savings. You know what? Sometimes you don't just have to use all the money that you get. You really need to make an investment. So, yeah, this is it.
But where do I start? I get so little money and I'm thinking that, is it possible to reach this far?
My friend, it doesn't mean that you should have all the money in the world. Come on. You can save even the little money that you get each month. There are so many ways of making an investment.
Really?
Yes, this could be investing in financial assets. You can make a fixed and savings deposits with commercial banks. You can buy an insurance policy. You can invest in treasury bills. You can also invest in physical assets like commodities or property.
Make a decision today. Invest your money to accomplish your goals.
We are Charismatic Private School. Charismatic Private School is informing the general public that it is opening day and boarding school at Filipina Memorial School. Charismatic School has kindergarten, primary and secondary school. The school has school buses which ferry learners around Lilongwe. Charismatic School has conducive learning environment suiting your child. Charismatic School is situated at Area 22B and Kapini, while Filipina Memorial Boarding School is situated at Area 23, Benito, Lilongwe. For more information, contact Charismatic School on the following numbers. Charismatic Filipina, creating brighter society.
Welcome back. A look at the headlines as we continue. Stakeholders demand answers on the recent security lapse in the administration of Standard 8 examinations. Court releases on bail 20-year-old girl accused of posting an offensive video online against President Chaguera. Police under fire in Eutini Mzimba for blaming lack of a vehicle for his failure to arrest 6 defilement suspects. In sports, Athletics Association of Malawi discloses that it is facing a 2 million kwacha deficit to host this year's National Track and Field Open Championship. Now moving on with the news, police in Mzimba have come under fire as stakeholders fighting gender-based violence are accusing them of failing to arrest defilement suspects as well as releasing suspects on dubious spells at a Eutini police unit. This has come out during a mobile campaign to end gender-based violence organized by People Innovations on Wednesday. Washington PD, a child protection worker in the area, told us that 6 defilement suspects who committed the crime in the month of August alone are walking scot-free, while the police claim they don't have transport to go and arrest them. Vanani Hirenda takes up the story.
Well, a lot of interventions are being done under the Spotlight Initiative to end gender-based violence among women and girls. Communities around Eutini in Mzimba feel the police there are not playing their part to end the vice. Among others, the police at the Uchini police unit are being accused of releasing defilement suspects on dubious bails and failing to arrest other suspects who are roaming freely after defiling girls. Child protection worker for Uchini, Washington Pili, says they have documented 6 cases of alleged defilement, including one where a 3 and 11 months girl was defiled by a 25-year-old man and was referred to Mzimba District Hospital for further treatment on her private parts, which were torn.
Let me just give an example on defilement cases. Only this month of August, we have registered 6 cases of defilement. The last defilement case involves a 4-year-old girl who was defiled by a 25-year-old man. A lot of people, after committing such crimes, are not being arrested and are just walking free.
Mzimba police officer in charge Sten Chaima told Zodiak they are aware about the concerns from the community and have instituted investigations into the matter. Meanwhile, People Innovations Project Officer for a Spotlight Initiative project, Rines Kwata, said they will call for an interface with the police and other stakeholders, including the community, to discuss and find the way forward on the issue.
I'm going to make sure that we should conduct an interface discussion between the police and the members of the community, so that the police should hear out people's concerns, because we believe if they can discuss, they'll come up with a best solution. And also, as People Innovation, we are going to discuss with other organizations and other stakeholders who are working on the Spotlight Initiative, so that we should know how best we can address this issue.
For Zodiac, I am Vanan Nyirenda.
Police in Mzuzu on Wednesday night shot dead a suspected robber who wanted to steal from a shop at Luinga industrial area in the city. Police spokesperson for the city, Paul Tembo, has told us that the suspect was in the company of his 5-member gang who fled the scene after the incident. The law enforcers shot the suspect when he charged on them with a panga knife as they were trying to quell the tension at the scene of the robbery. And police in Karonga have clarified reports that their vehicles detained at Kasumuru border in Tanzania based on the law enforcers' failure to arrest suspects connected to robbery of motorcycles in that area. Karonga Police Station Publicist Sub-Inspector Enoch Liverson has told us on Thursday that the Tanzanian nationals blocked the police vehicle because they were demanding that a Malawian vendor who assaulted a Tanzanian vendor should be prosecuted in their home country. Yesterday, images of the detained Malawi police vehicle in Tanzania trended online, with some saying it was due to the Tanzania nationals' frustrations with the Malawi police's failure to arrest suspects who steal motorcycles in that country and smuggle them into Malawi. Lilongwe City Council has moved in to construct drainage systems in areas prone to flash floods triggered by lack of facilities. Lilongwe City Mayor, Councillor Juliana Kaduya, said the council has lined up several infrastructure projects to improve people's livelihood. Winston Kaimina reports.
When Lilongwe City Mayor Councillor Juliana Kaduya toured some infrastructure development projects which Lilongwe City Council was implementing, she was impressed with progress made so far. The projects include construction of a sewer line system, bridges and drainage systems, as well as upgrading and maintenance of some roads. It is expected that the drainage system will reduce flash floods that are experienced in the rainy season due to unavailability of the facilities in locations such as Area 49. Through use of the new sewer line system, the council expects to address challenges of water contamination such as the one which was experienced in Area 18 in 2017. Engineer Yusuf Abubakar, who is team leader for the contractor of the sewer line system project, Sajid Consultant, says almost 40% of the job has been done.
The quantities that it should be executed by this contract, it should be 45 kilometers of main pipeline and 3,000 of house connection. Now overall of the progress of the contractor reached to 40%.
But some of the Lilongwe residents we interviewed during the mayor's tour, including village head Robert of TH Douglas area, demanded more efforts in addressing challenges such as limited access to clean water. The mayor said there are a number of development projects to address challenges affecting the livelihood of Lilongwe residents.
As of now, we have toured area 47, we have seen Chipiku, 25, this is 49, Senti Bridge, And soon we'll be having a road tender, A25 tender. We have already identified the contractor. We have a process. Contractors, when they bid, the City Council will do the evaluation, then it will go to BBDA like that. So as of now, A25 tender, it's at BBDA plus Kauma.
The projects are being financed by both government and the country's development partners, such as the World Bank. Winston Kaimira reporting for Zodiak.
Let's now move on to sports. The Athletics Association of Malawi has disclosed that it has a 2 million kwacha deficit to host this year's National Track and Field Open Championship at the end of this month. The event is scheduled for Bingu National Stadium in Lilongwe. The association's General Secretary Nzeye Makawa has told us tentatively the tournament has been slated for 25 September. Sambanda reports.
The event is earmarked to identify athletes that will represent the country at next year's Regional 5 African Union Sports Council Games in Lilongwe, the World Championship in Athletics to be held in the United States of America, as well as the Birmingham Commonwealth Games in the UK. However, financial constraints threaten the holding of the event, according to Athletics Association of Malawi General Secretary Nzeye Makawa, who says the tournament requires 3.5 million kwacha, but the association currently has only 1.5 million kwacha in its coffers.
We have some money, but we are also asking some wishes which we are approached answered favorable that they may be assisting us, but not yet. Sports Council, sometimes they are always come to our rescue, they assist us, and also we use part of our grant from World Athletics and some well-wishers.
Meanwhile, Malawi Schools Sports Association President Blackson Malamula says junior athletes will not be permitted to participate in the event as sporting activities remain closed due to COVID-19 restrictions.
Associations need to follow procedures. We cannot just wake up and say we are having this tournament or whatsoever, and yet we want others to be involved. They have to write a letter seeking approval. For our school sport is on standby because of COVID-19, so we are waiting.
Lilongwe-based junior women athlete Monet Chingaipe, who collected bronze at the Regional 5 African Union Sports Council Games in Lesotho 3 years ago, is one of the successive products of the National Track and Open Field Championship.
And that's about what we had time for in this edition. But before we go, we'll look at the headlines. Stakeholders demand answers on the recent security lapse in the administration of Standard 8 examinations. Court releases on bail 20-year-old girl accused of posting an offensive video online against President Chakwera. Police under fire in Eutini Mzimba for blaming lack of a vehicle for its failure to arrest 6 defilement suspects. And in sports, Athletics Association of Malawi discloses that it is facing a 2 million kwacha deficit to host this year's National Track and Field Open Championship. Visit our website, zodiacmalawi.com, for more news. My name is Chancellor Mlozabanda. On behalf of the team, thanks for watching.
Mona Malawi anzanga, nkhondo yogonjetsa COVID-19 ndi ya wina aliyense. Tili limodzi. Ine ndinasankha kulandira katemera wa COVID-19 atangoyamba